YouTube. Alright, so we're doing an update on the Predatory tank and the fry, but the fry did not make it. I feel really bad. As we can see, there's a bottle of vodka. Anyways, yeah. So the electric blue Ocardas, you know, paired up, laid some eggs on the moon rock back here. Dun 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 dun. Protected them real good, dug some trenches, eggs hatched, protected the fry. Everything went really well. I noticed that the Ocardas weren't really eating what I was giving them, because I had dry food and I was feeding them frozen food, so they weren't eating the dry food. And it started to kind of build up on the bottom. I'm like, wow. So I would suck it out, but I wasn't doing a great job, I guess. And within about 6 days of the fry actually being fry, and I noticed that the Ocardas are looking rough. Now the Taiwan Reef cichlids, they're doing great. The female electric blue Ocarda is doing great, but they are a pair, so they always do hang out together. It's kind of cute. But the male, which is right here, not that one, that's the female, but right here, yeah, he's a mess. So I guess the water quality just got bad, because I was trying to treat them, and he just seems to get worse, not better. But he is still eating. He's eating his bloodworms. He likes bloodworms, so I get him bloodworms. And yeah, so he started to, you know, get ick and pesticides and all this good stuff, because I got him from a store, and I always pre-treat my tank, and I actually had them in my community tank. I have 3 of them, and I wanted to make sure everything is good to go, so I, you know, added them to my community tank and went ahead and medicated it. Used some very good medication, and a few fish started to kind of, you know, itch themselves, but nothing really ever happened. Within about a month, I went ahead and moved 2 of the Ocardas, which are these 2, because they paired up, and I put them in the Predatory tank. One Ocarda is still in the community tank, and that entire system over there is doing great. It actually has carbon in it, trying to remove all the, you know, medication out of the water. It's been running clean for about a few days now. Alright, when I put the Ocardas in here, I was treating it still. I just wanted to make sure everything was going well, and they laid eggs and everything. They were getting treated, and they look great. The male was pretty much, you know, just a few dots there and there. But like I said, it was the food. I guess the water quality just got really bad, and you know, he looks like a hot mess now. So the fry, when they actually start to, you know, when you got some eggs and they get hatched, you got about 2 weeks before the parents do not protect them anymore, because they're free swimming, and because you are in a, you know, 4 square foot, you know, land here, the babies have nowhere to really go, and you know, the parents or the other fish, including the parents, will start to eat the fry. Anyways, I was told to go ahead and move them into a container or to a different tank, which I set up a breeder tank. I did some research, and I was like, okay, you know, I gotta move the aquarium water into the breeder tank so there's no shocks, no difference in chemistry, and all this good stuff for the fry. I used a siphon hose, and I just put it on top of the fry pile, and you know, siphon hose the fry out. Took about half the stack, and you know, when they started, you know, getting a little bit bigger, the parents started to eat them. So the other half were eaten. That's why there's no fry in here. The fry I put in here, with the water I put in here, basically all I did, because it was just so much, you know, the ick is, you know, he has a lot of ick, so the pesticides are a little bit out of control, and all I did is move the pesticides down. Within about 3 days of the fry being in here, they started to die, every last one of them. Now I don't know if it's just because the breeder tank's been only set up for a few days. Could also be, not for sure. It was only set up for 1 week before I actually moved the fries in there. I did try to throw some, you know, sponges in there from the filters into here to help to get it established quicker. But regardless, every single fry died. I feel really bad. But since this happened, I actually went ahead and changed the breeder tank. So I actually got real sponge filters in there now. I went ahead and put this together. It actually has some carbon in there, some biological filtration, some mechanical as well, some sponges and all this good stuff, and carbon to take out the impurities out the water. I went ahead and, you know, made sure I just moved all the rocks to one side, put all the bulbs in it so they stay in place. They're actually growing really well with the T8 bulb here. And I also went ahead and got some floaty plants, and they're actually doing really good. You can see they're sprouting roots, I guess, for nutrients out the water. And I got this with some duckweed also, so I'm real excited. And you know, now it's actually getting here, sitting, getting established and all this good stuff, and thinking about getting one fish for it to help get it established really well and check the parameters to see how the ammonia levels are and everything. But there were like, you know, 200 dead fry in here, and I put one snail in there and just let him do his thing, and it looks pretty dang spotless. I'm like, wow, that snail is going to town. But yeah, so that's the story on the fry. Alright, so yeah, I know you guys are like, why is there a beta fish? Let's talk about the beta fish real quick. This is Lou. Lou likes to swim into the swamp tank, in the community tank. She likes to go into the overflow box and get stuck there. She did it 2 times already. I found her there today again. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put you in the predatory tank and see how you like it in there. Oh yeah, okay, see, she's actually swimming against the current right now. So there's a pump in here that circulates the water, and it's actually running now. It only runs, I believe, I want to say 6 times. So it only runs for a 30-minute time frame, and then it has like a 2-hour break, and then it runs again, and then yeah, it kind of goes like that, but it stops running at like 8 to give them a nice rest. Alright, so it definitely circulates the water around. I did do a big water change and all this good stuff. Ended up actually adding some crushed Texas holy rock, if I pronounced that all correctly. So I added some more pH helper stuff in there, I guess. Just went ahead and added it because I had extra. Alright, I am going to get one big solid stone of Texas holy rock and put in the breeder tank. Just haven't gotten that far yet, but just to hold a nice high stable pH, just like this tank. Alright, cool. Well guys, I wish you an awesome day and an awesome night, and y'all be good now. Laters.